Welcome along to Zooming with Driven, a show that was born out of COVID, and here we are into Season 2, Episode 1. We've got funding for another season, which is particularly exciting. We're in a studio. We have Dean, who is the boss of Driven. We have David and Matthew, who are journalists here, and Andrew. No one knows what Andrew does, but he's asking the questions for our quiz today. Before we get into it, though, it is Field Day, something a little bit topical, so I'll pass you over to Dean.
Yeah, Field Day's online. It's been running for the last week. Obviously, with all the virus-related stuff, the whole event switched online, but it's become a proxy motor show for New Zealand, so a lot of brands there. Check it online. The Association of Brands, I've got a list here. Hyundai, Isuzu, Toyota, Mercedes Vans, Kawasaki, Yamaha, Mitsubishi, Mahindra, and Volkswagen, of course. And that's probably topical and relevant because we do have a Volkswagen V8 that we're covering this weekend. We'll just get to a little bit later about the cover, but yeah, V8 Touareg.
Yep, I drove it and I loved it. It was really interesting. Why have you got that cheeky look on your face?
It's a V8 and you love it. Oh, what a big surprise.
No,
huge shock.
But it was a V8 that was a diesel V8, and it was a V8 that had absolutely no theatre. But what it had was 900 newton meters of torque, and it literally just wafted around like it was just effortless. I thought it's a brilliant car. And for the money, you know, you compare it against the Range Rovers and the other bits and pieces. I reckon the price point is there. It's up to spec. It doesn't feel like a retrofitted dash. It's that new wicked dash. I think it's a great car.
It's 150 grand. How does that compare in V8s?
Would you buy one of those instead of an Audi Q7 or SQ7?
How much is it?
They're the same underneath, aren't they?
Pretty
How
much,
much is
yeah.
a Q7 though? It's VW undercut them, won't they? Nobody knows.
Wouldn't be far away. I don't know off the top of my head.
Absolutely
Yeah.
not. We are going to do a V8 special today, which is exciting because V8s are very much my thing. Not so much amongst the teams. So these guys, the vast majority of them, when we went and tested the Mustangs, all chose the 4-cylinder, which makes me feel ill.
I didn't.
You chose the V8?
Yes, I did.
Sluice?
50-50.
I didn't participate. I drove around the track in the Skoda Superb camera car that we had. It was actually great.
Yeah, I chose the Focus.
Did you go for the V8 in the end?
I did, yeah. Ultimately got a V8, but yeah, the 4-cylinder is probably Focus ST, Focus RS.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so the cheapest and the most expensive V8s on the market. Let's start there. You've done some research.
Yeah. Does anybody want to guess what the cheapest V8 you can buy in New Zealand is?
I can kill all your buzz. I'm looking at your notes right
Yeah,
now.
I know,
I'm
but
not-
you know that anyway.
I won't do it though.
It's actually the Toyota Land Cruiser 70 series.
Wicked. My dad has one.
Close to your heart because it's a diesel and your dad's
Yeah.
got one.
Yeah.
$68,000 for a cab chassis, so still quite a bit of money.
It's a ton of money, and it's a wonderful truck. Like all the cement guys that go past always give you a 2. Worst turning circle in the car game.
You're always going on about the turning circle.
The turning
Doesn't
circle
matter.
is atrocious. Like
Everyone
it's
gets
so.
out of the way. Doesn't
It's
matter.
not. That's,
It's
that's
so
not, Is
bad.
that your number one point of reference for
Well,
buying a car? How
and
good the turning circle?
it's a V8 which feels underpowered.
You-
I love the truck. Don't get me wrong.
What
It
did,
feels
what
underpowered.
did you just say about the Touareg, mate? With its V8, it's nice and refined and quiet. This is you know, it's not everything.
Well, it's not
Double
fine.
standard.
What shocks me is you got to spend $70,000 if you want a V8.
And you've got to pay extra for the tray as well.
Yeah.
What's and that's petrol? Did you say petrol or diesel?
It's diesel.
Diesel.
Single turbo
So
diesel.
what if you want a petrol V8?
If you want a petrol V8, this is an obvious one, but does anybody want to guess, Sam?
What for? What are we talking
Cheapest
cheapest?
petrol V8.
Oh, it's a Mustang.
It is a Mustang.
Yeah.
Mustang GT manual. Yeah. And it's off the top of my head, $83,000. So
They were 79 when they first came out,
Yeah.
so they've given it a little bump in the last few years.
Most expensive.
okay, so anybody want to guess this? Because I guarantee you may not guess it, but you'll also definitely not imagine how much money it is.
It's a Ferrari.
It's got to be a Rolls.
And I know what it is.
He knows what
You
it
got to
is.
stop looking at his notes.
I can't help it. He writes like impossible to read, but I can still read
He
it.
cheats in the quiz too.
I think my writing's quite elegant, actually. It's the Ferrari SF90 Stradale. So that's the new hybrid Ferrari.
Right.
So it's not only the world's fastest hybrid, it's New Zealand's most expensive V8. And asking how much a Ferrari is a bit like how much is a piece of string because they're all modified and customised. But it's about $900,000.
Oh,
Eee, okay.
Okay,
Only
yeah.
Sam could afford that one.
Oh, talk it up. Right, if you were to buy a V8 right now with your own money, what would you buy?
I'd probably go with my own money because I want an RS6 Avant.
Yeah.
I want an AMG C63, but with my own money,
Same.
I'd probably buy, if it's a V8, I'd probably buy the modern day version of the AC Cobra, the Mercedes SLK 55. V8, 5.4 V8
David, I
in
know
a
you're
compact.
passionate about SLKs. What do you think about that decision?
I don't want to get into it. And this is all due to a driven reader.
There's
by
Is
the
it
way.
a new car?
No, it's an older one, but there's actually one on sale at Driven for 30k at the moment. So yeah, good little pocket rocket. That's what I'd spend on my own money.
C63 AMG, or if now that I have kids and stuff, I'd probably go the GLC 63. I think that's the perfect people mover with the best engine. Or the Touareg. The Touareg was good too.
Nah. See, I've pretended. We were saying what we'd buy. I'm assuming I've got unlimited budget here.
Yeah.
So I reckon the best V8 that I've ever driven is the Porsche, and I have to look at my notes because the name's really long. Porsche Panamera Turbo S E-Hybrid Sport Turismo.
Rolls
So
off
that's
the tongue.
essentially the Panamera station wagon with the big
Yeah,
V8
yeah.
engine
Such
and
a
the
looker.
hybrid system.
Such a
They are
good
not
looking
cheap, though,
car.
aren't they?
They are
I mean,
$435,000.
Yeah, that's
I know
ridiculous.
it's a Porsche, but
That's not
a lot of
ridiculous.
That's
It's
ridiculous.
awesome. I drove one last year. It was absolutely fantastic.
Yeah,
It's phenomenal.
Looking?
Yeah. Don't you not like
The
them?
Panamera wagon is
A Porsche
is an
station
excellent
wagon.
looking car.
Yeah.
No, it's good. It just
You're
doesn't
gonna
know
get
if it's
beaten and
going.
dragged in the streets for this opinion.
Just doesn't know if it's going forward or backwards.
500, just one more thing. 500 kilowatts, 0 to 103.4.
Yeah,
You
the
can't
impressive
argue
numbers.
with
There's
that.
$500,000, and that's a batch. So
I would be really tempted to go buy a dirty old Holden, some kind of club sport sort of contraption,
Yeah.
maybe a GTSR. More realistically, I think I'd go Lexus GSF or ISF, one or the other.
yeah,
Yeah,
see,
yeah.
that's well thought through.
Andrew, would you buy a V8?
Could you buy a V8?
No, definitely not. But no, I'd go manual Mustang. It's an amazing car.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a good call. It is time to bring Andrew into the fold right now because we're going to jump into our quiz. Let me give you a little update on the scores. Dean has 3 wins. David has 2 wins. Matt has 2 wins.
How many wins do you have, Sam?
Dan-
There's a fourth competitor here.
And let's get into it.
Yeah, how many? What's yours like,
Get
Sam?
into the quiz.
Sam.
It's time to jump into the quiz with Andrew Sluice.
Thank you.
I hope you've written good questions this
Yeah.
week.
First, you got a point for actually pronouncing my name right, which
Good.
like no one on earth does.
You
so
don't
that's
actually get a point for that.
Well, no,
It's
no,
not
really.
A point with
No,
me.
I need that point. I'm on 1.
Point in my heart. Anyway, what is Mazda's design language
David.
called?
Matt.
David?
Kodo Soul of Motion.
No.
Wow, that's big. Yes, that is right
My
though.
God, what? Who knows that?
Me.
I knew it too.
Anyway, number 2. What is the best-selling vehicle over in America?
Matt,
Matthew.
Ford F-150.
Yes, it is. Congratulations, Matthew.
Thank you, Andrew.
Right.
Jeez.
How many electric motors does the fastest Tesla Cybertruck have?
Sam.
I think it's Matt.
4, 3.
Another one for
Are
Matthew.
you looking at his answers again?
Yeah, I think so.
Hey, I said the wrong
There's
answer first. Okay,
cheating going on.
Geely owns which British
David.
sports... David?
I'm going to say Lotus.
Yes.
Wow, we're back to the random questions here with Andrew.
So
Yeah.
this is 2 all,
The
Matthew and
really
David.
random
Is
if
this
you
the
don't
last
know it,
question?
right?
This is the last question, yes. Although,
Between you two, who will sit this out?
Walk off.
what was the first Ferrari to controversially break the 200 miles per hour
Dean.
barrier? Yeah.
Yeah, you're
I'll use it as
out.
a backup. Controversially, I didn't know it was controversial, but go, yes.
No idea.
I'll answer it if they don't.
David, I'll say the F40.
Yes, you got that right. The only reason it was controversial was because Ferrari never managed to do it outside of Italy. So the question is whether it was actually done or not.
Good
Is-
questions this week.
And they just did
You
top
were
the
saying the
959.
questions were horrible about 30 seconds ago.
No, I said in the past have been horrible, and what that means is that David
No, I thought they were
and
horrible.
Dean are tied on the series for 3 all. So a bit of a showdown next week.
How'd you go at home for all those people listening and playing along at home for those questions? Yeah, good.
Do you know how this video stuff works? Right?
The team had a really interesting conundrum this week. They put together an article about the fact that they had $100,000 to spend on a new car, and what did they decide to buy with that $100,000? And it turned out it's quite a tricky one because $100,000 sits in that really awkward spot. And boy, we've been debating this one, and so have you guys, absolutely raining down on David Linklater with his terrible decision. So would you like to voice what you decided to go with?
I'd like to preface it by saying I actually had this car as a long-term test car a couple of years ago, and I did in fact feel that it was my favourite car in the whole world. And you can buy it for $100,000. It's the BMW i3S. So that's the fast i3. For those who don't know what an i3 is, it's BMW's little city car, pure electric, carbon fibre reinforced plastic, inside and out. It's made around a tub, like a McLaren supercar. It is a fantastic car, and I do not understand people who make fun of it.
You're
I
getting
think
really
it's
emotional
awesome.
about
I am,
this.
because I've been through this so many times.
You've been hammered.
I've had my say.
The thing is, though, what you've done there is you've basically decided that with $100,000 you could buy anything, and you've decided to go with the accountant's choice.
That's not an accountant's
That isn't
choice.
it. The only
How is
reason
that an
they've
accountant's
made it
choice?
lightweight.
You would have to be a
save
terrible
gas.
accountant to decide to buy an i3,
Yeah.
I would say.
Well, it's just its only modus is to save fuel and to be economic. Where is the sound, the theatre, the fun?
Incorrect.
0 to 100.
Lowest centre of gravity
Dean, do you
of
wanna
any
get out here?
BMW
We
production model,
grab lunch or
completely made
something.
out of carbon fibre.
And it'll get
into it.
beaten around
rear
the
wheel
track.
drive, 20-inch wheels.
It'll get beaten around a track by a Golf GDI.
I'm
cares?
not sure that
And
it
I don't
would.
think it would actually.
I'm not sure it would.
They are great to drive.
I
And I know that you're obsessed with tuning circles. i3's got a fantastic.
just with $100,000, I
I
would never.
encourage you to go and drive one and just turn it around in a circle. You'll be sold, man.
Look, my whole thing is when you have 100,000, buying a car is rare. You don't do it many times in your life. Then you've been given this hypothetical situation. You've come back with that.
Because that is my favourite car.
Should we move on?
No.
What did you choose?
Funnily enough, another electric car, but we had 100k to spend, and I wanted to squeeze out every drop we could of dollars from that. So I chose the Tesla Model 3 Performance Long Range Edition. So you get 620 k's out of a tank. I chose an electric blue metallic option, which bumped another $1,700 onto it. So I took it to $99,700.
Smart purchasing, but is there anything in that car that excites you? Like,
The
what is
performance, it's almost too fast. You actually can annoy passengers with the speed and performance of that thing. It'll do 600k, so the range is not a problem with the EV. Amazing performance. You got luxury, comfort, technology, all those things I like. It doesn't have a little bit of sound, but you could probably play something through the audio if you like. But a lot of my driving, as it's a personal choice, is commuting, doing a lot of motorway stuff. So for me, that's perfect. That's what I'd spend my money on.
On the Tesla performance side of it, if you don't believe me, it's the only car that I've ever had where if I've got passengers and I'm showing off, as you do, I'll instruct them to put their heads on the headrest before I do it.
That's true, I do
you
that
can
too.
genuinely
That
get
whipping.
you can get
Yeah.
whipping. You need to be in one. It's not my pick, but yeah.
What did you choose?
So, I mean, I just said it's
It
not
was
my
your pick.
but it was literally what I was going to go exactly to that spec. So behind the scenes stuff, we normally I'll send out the prompt. These guys will all do, and I'll do mine last. And generally, my opinion is so wrong and so different that no one will choose what I choose. But Dean jipped me on this, so I thought
I did the undercut for once on Matt.
absolutely, yeah.
Normally it's the other way
You're right
around.
for once, which is really interesting. I thought I'd pick the absolute opposite. I don't think we can get any more opposite for Tesla Model 3 than a Toyota Land Cruiser 70 series. We've already talked about it.
Yeah, V8 diesel.
Yeah, V8 diesel, and it's just I love the Jimny, I love the G-Wagon, and this is basically in that same genre, in the middle somewhere. They've been around for 1984. I can't do maths. I'm a writer, and I can barely do that. Just such an honest, pure off-road beast. They'll always be cool. They'll always be timeless. The tuning circle is probably not that great, Sam.
No.
But, no?
No, well, it's terrible. It's the worst thing. But you know what?
Is it? You should have mentioned that.
What I love about
You
your
know what has a
decision,
really good tuning circle? The i3 does.
What I love about your decisions is echoed what people are actually buying. People are buying utes, and you've chosen a ute, so that's good.
The other thing about
People
it,
are buying utes and Mustangs.
before we go to it's also better value than a Ford Ranger Raptor, which Andrew didn't choose.
What did you choose?
Well, yeah, I was either going between the manual V8 Mustang or a Ranger Raptor because I figure they're both incredibly fun. Like I'm 23. I don't really want anything responsible. I just want to go do dumb
and
stuff.
that's how you
You've
should
chosen
buy
the
a
right
car.
car.
Exactly, yeah. So a V8
Yeah.
manual Mustang, you can do so much dumb stuff with it. It's great. But
As has been proven online.
yes, yeah, exactly, yeah.
I know
And
what
but-
you mean.
No, I love this. I mean, he hasn't even been through puberty, but yet he knows more than the entire team, which is fantastic. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're doing the 30-second sell from driven.co.nz, and it's a great category as well. V8s for under $20,000, and you will be blown away by what you can get.
List your vehicle for sale on Driven for just $20. Load up to 25 photos, keep your listing up until it sells, and reach thousands of potential buyers. Sell your car at driven.co.nz.
Welcome back. Let's get back into it. The 30-second sale V8s under $20,000. Who would like to kick it off, Matthew?
You asked a question and then just said my name,
Good.
so I guess it's me then. So I've gone with something that probably I wouldn't have thought of in some ways, but I know a few mates who have them and love them. Porsche Cayenne. You can get a pretty solid V8 Cayenne for 20 and just under. You probably can't get like a Cayenne Turbo, but I went with the Cayenne S that's listed on site, 4.5 litre V8, under 100. What was it? Let me just search. Let me search. Yes, under 100,000 Ks. Grey, black on black interior. All the bells and whistles, and they're fantastic to drive. Really, really good to drive.
I mean, I'm not supporting your argument here, but I literally have a friend. His name's Tane. And he goes.
Shout out to Tane.
Shout out to Tane.
Does he have an Instagram handle?
What he does is he gets a Porsche Cayenne. How do you say it?
Cayenne. You're pretty close.
And he spends about $15,000. He runs it for 2 or 3 years, explodes it, takes it into the shop, and just pulls it to pieces and gets parts on it. He's done that 3 times. And he reckons it's the best car on the road. Just drives until he explodes it, and they go like the clappers.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Carry on.
What about you, David?
Speaking of exploding, I reckon if you're going to buy a cheap V8, it's got to be Aussie, because that's Australia's only real contribution to popular culture. And I reckon it's got to be
Crocodile Dundee.
It's got to be a Holden, because we're saying goodbye to Holden this year, and it's got to be a Ute, because Utes are uniquely Australian. So I've got a 2005 Holden Crewman Ute, which is the weirdest Ute ever made. Terrible back seat, no tray, so it's a real oddity. But my particular one's got a spoiler on the back as well, which you will see due to the magic of editing very shortly. That's an easy one. Cheap Holden V8, surely.
I know how Dean loves his Aussie V8s, so...
Dean is the judge.
Andrew, what different vehicle do you have?
Something
20k,
it's-
20k V8.
For once in my life, I agree with David. And because of that, I figure I've made a good choice here. I've chosen, it is another Holden Crewman SS manual, purple. It looks incredible. It is almost gone to the moon with 309,000 Ks, but it's just awesome. Manual 4-door Ute with a big rhubar on the front. So like,
Can I just say, I like that one, but mine's only done 140,000 Ks. So
You can say that.
it's
but is
twice
yours
as good.
manual?
No.
Well, yeah, there we go.
Right. Well, I've gone with a 2009, so a little bit newer than your ones. What was yours, Matthew?
05.
05, yes. It's 2009. 82,000 Ks on the clock.
What have you gone with, sorry?
$17,000, and it's a BMW 650i Coupe.
Oh.
V8, 450, 500 horsepower. Look, 2009, and look, 81,000 Ks. It's like it's damn near new, and it's under 20K.
So let's preface this. At the beginning of the day, before the cameras were on, we were talking about what we'd buy for $100 grand, and you were saying, nah, no sports cars.
No, I
What's
don't really.
changed? What's
No,
changed,
it's a coupe. It's a coupe.
I would argue
Those are
that's
the
more
same.
of a cheesy midlife crisis car, not a sports
Yeah,
car.
okay, yeah,
it's
I
a
think
great
that's
car.
fair. I think that's fair as well.
So the
Because it
parameters,
supports my argument.
the parameters were come up with the best V8 you can under $20,000 and driven.co.nz. Cars that are currently for sale. Last time I checked, I don't think we're in Deniliquin, are we? Deniliquin.
Depends. Where on earth is Deniliquin?
Yeah.
The Denny Ute Muster is the most famous Ute event for Aussie Utes in the world.
And is it a bad thing?
Depends who you're looking at it, but those two Utes would be perfect there. We're in Auckland, CBD at the
There you
moment,
go.
and they are shocking choices.
Yeah.
I'm not mad.
Disagree.
I'm just disappointed.
I mean, David actually got he's voted for mine in choosing that, so I feel validated anyway. So I don't need your validation, Dean.
You haven't touched my heart. You've broken it with those two. The Porsche is only slightly better. You're buying a Porsche, but it's the blobby one. It's not bad. I did a quick check just in case we went through this situation, and I've come up with I did a quick scan of some sub $20,000 V8s. Now let me see if any of these would
He's
pique
not
your
even in the
interest.
competition, and he's trying.
Yeah.
He's trying to weasel his
This
way
is the
in.
most Dean Evans thing I've ever seen.
Lexus SC430 V8, a 2004 Touareg V8.
Does it Lexus have the crazy red interior?
They're awful.
No,
those
that's the other one.
SCs.
Oh, okay.
The Jeep Grand Cherokee, the Audi A8, if you want to go to a bit of class.
I bet
And
that Jeep would have been like, if it was $5 grand as well, that would have applied too, right?
a 96 Chevy Camaro, a Nissan Fuga. Is that how you pronounce it?
What are you saying here?
450 GT
No
V8.
one's hit the spot
A
for
Chrysler 300C V8, a Mercedes CLS 500, and even a Commodore SS. We're all under there for under 20K.
It's
So
not as cool as a crewman.
It's not as cool as a
Condor
BMW. He's not good at the quiz, but he gets today's 30 seconds.
Yeah! Feels good.
And Dean comes second somehow.
Yeah, even though he wasn't included.
Yeah.
Let's shift subjects.
I don't get many wins, so I'm going to celebrate that. And it is the chance to go and try and score another win right now with the 0 to 100 challenge. We basically get a category. Andrew gives us the clues, and we have to say how fast that car goes to 100. Wish us luck. Sluice, what do you got?
This week it's from 2014. The car's from that era, so it's not too old. And we'll start off with a good old Holden Commodore SS.
Hi.
Then you'd know this like the back of your hand.
Okay, we'll work up the line. I'll go 4.9.
5.6.
5.1.
5.8.
David, you've got that right on the money.
Oh, double point as
wow.
well.
Yeah,
Double
well
on the
done.
money.
Good
Start.
It's
stuff.
amazing what you can do when you
Started
guess.
Okay.
Next one, we have got a Mercedes AMG SLK 55.
Oh, yes.
Hey.
Love an SLK, that's a great car.
55.
Fast one.
In fact, I'm just going to hold up the same time that I held up last time. 4.9.
I'm going to go 4.6.
I've gone 4.9 as well.
5.2.
Sam, you've got that. It was 4.5.
Aye. Okay.
Suck on that.
A 2014 BMW M5.
Oh.
That's the... I was going to ask a dumb question. That's the V8, isn't it?
Today, please. Dean.
Nah, way too high.
4.5.
4.1.
4.3.
4.9.
Okay, so David and Sam both get a point each because it was 4.2. So
Oi.
either side.
Fast
Okay.
car.
I should leave now.
So point standings right now, David's on 3, Sam's on 2.
How did David get through?
Double points he got right on the money for that first one.
Yeah, well
Yeah,
done.
yeah, thank you.
Now we've got a Porsche Cayenne Turbo S. Notice the S on the end, David.
It's not a wagon though.
Not a
These
wagon.
are all around the same.
Too tall.
Not liking Andrew this week.
Just this week.
4.8.
4.1.
I've gone 4.2.
4.4.
Sam, you're right on the money there.
4.1. Is anything not a 4 this week?
So
Commodore.
is that,
These are like the Rev
how many more are there to go? Because that's
So-
the win, isn't it?
There is one question to go, and Sam, you're on 4. David, you're on 3. And we have
It's no
Yeah.
another fast car, an Audi R8, the V8, not the V10.
They're all sort of in the same ballpark.
Yeah,
which
I
makes it
thought you would have
very
thrown in something
tricky.
red herring, Andrew, like something. With
I do
10
have
seconds.
a weird one for the tiebreaker, but
I'm just throwing it out. 4.6. That's a lost
I'm going
cause.
3.9.
4.3.
4 flat.
David 4.3. So it's 4.2. So David, you get that.
Yay!
Oh, tiebreaker.
So yeah, so we go to tie break, and now we can use the weird one.
Okay.
A Toyota Land Cruiser VX. So it's the 200 series, the nice one, not the rugged one.
So that's your twin turbo.
the inferior one.
Yep.
Yeah, cool.
Gonna have a go
Oh,
just
that's
for fun.
hard.
That's so hard.
Could be anything.
I reckon it's about 4 seconds, Sam.
Yeah, about 4.2, I reckon.
Yeah. I'm going late 8s.
Okay,
I'm going
I'm gonna go-
8, 9.
wait for David. I'll go 17.8.
What?
Well, I'm not going to lose anything,
Oh,
am I?
I've
It's
got
a
this
V8,
wrong.
not a hamster wheel.
I've got this wrong. It's higher than that. It's way higher than that. 8, 9.
I've gone 9.5.
Ah, you're way
9.8.
closer.
It is 8.2.
Hey!
Sam wins it.
Surprisingly fast.
Yes. Wow. That was brilliant. I've had a couple of wins on an episode, which has never happened in the history of the planet. So that concludes our episode this week. Remember, if you need to buy or sell a car, you should do it at driven.co.nz. 40,000 cars. Get your listing up. It's much cheaper than the opposition as well. Get it up, share it with your friends. Happy days. Was that the perfect sell on the way up?
It was. Driven.co.nz for all your cars on sale. And look for our rural edition coming out in a couple of days as well, which is just click under the videos tab link on our website.
Fantastic. We will be discussing utes in all its glory. Anyone want to just fire one on the pile right now? No? Save that for next week.
Find your car at driven.co.nz.